Welcome to Ulua. You live, you work, you art.
Hello, this is Carol from Ulua. I'm putting cream on my hands. It's super dry right now and cold. And that has nothing to do with the episode, but anyways. um, so yes, this episode will be about giving, taking, and also matching or balancing these two ways of behaving, we could say. Um, And I was reminded of this a few minutes ago because somebody told me you must be willing to receive more in your life. Because I think even though I don't think I'm a good person, because some people do. You are a good person because you are a giver, and that's not exactly right. But yes, I'm more of a giver more of the time in my life than a taker. So I am trying to balance that in life because the two extremes are not healthy enough for people, for us, for you, and for me. And so I remember when they told me this. I remember a time when I was me and my partner were going to our improv class, and we arrived like half an hour earlier, and class only started at certain hour, and we had like plenty of time to go around and walk around the place. And so we went down an avenue and walked a few blocks there. And during this walk, we found a florist and his shop, and it was just getting a little bit darker. And we were going through that shop, and I said, "Oh, I love those flowers that are there," and that kind of thing. And so the florist said, "Oh, take this bunch of flowers for you. This is a gift from me to you." And I felt like I was again. I at that time I was a full giver, I guess. I felt like I was robbing him from something, but he was giving me the flowers. He was an old man. So I said thank you and went out with the flowers, and they were amazing. Actually, I have a picture that I found that I have of them, so I will put them here beside me. And it felt kind of awkward because being given things when most of the time I was the one giving people things, and time and effort and everything. And at the same time, the thing is that when you are, we will talk a little bit more about being a giver, a taker, and that kind of thing. Um, there comes a point when because you can't be a giver unless it's in your nature. So if you're a giver, you have to learn how to not be that much of a giver. And if you're a taker, you have learn how to be a giver. And I remember the many times after I had given things, because I do that again just by nature, or I used to do that by nature. I now just when I have this tendency, I stop and I say, okay, why is that I'm doing this? It's not because it's bad to be given to people, because it's joyful and it's fantastic. But at the same time, you tend to give too much and forget about yourself. So I try to stop and think, I am really willing to give my time, money, whatever it is that I'm going to give to another person, um, just cause? Or is it that I'm doing this and I might regret it later, or I might regret it, for example, in the form I will be too tired to do my own things later, or I will be depleted from energy in order to do things that I have to do, or that I want to do, or that I have prioritized in my list to do. So this is the kind of things that I have to be thinking about now, or from some time until now, and especially after this. I think every time I have this kind of things, I have to update my way of behaving. Like, for example, when I had this spine injury, I had to reprioritize my whole life and reanalyze everything and reorder and get a little more profound on the things that I had to do and that I wanted to do and those kind of things. So I think every time you have those kinds of experiences of your updating your behavior, your habits, your ideas, your maps of the world, you have to sit down and really understand what's going on. And this comes also for the takers, you could say. The takers are people who are not afraid of taking things from you. It could be in the form of money or energy, time, resources. Um, and we all know these two types of people, which are the extremes, right? The givers are the ones that are there for you every time you need them. They are there if you there. I'm sure you have heard of some people who says, "Oh, she or he is willing to give even the coat they have on if you are cold, for example." Those kind of people. Maybe that's super extreme. And the takers are the one that are always asking you for money, always lending you money, or um, sorry, borrowing you money, and never, for example, giving back to you. So those are the two extremes. And for it actually to be a healthy behavior, you have to learn how to be a matcher. That's what they say. A matcher is like in the middle. It's like the balance position. And even though we will be sometimes a taker in one situation and maybe a matcher in other, and sometimes we will be the givers in others because we don't behave exactly the same all the time. But in general, we tend to have a certain pattern of behavior. The takers are the ones who prioritize themselves, and they are more individualistic and tend to focus on what will I gain from this situation? How can I do? Mm, how can I make a strategy for me to get something out of this situation, of this person, um, of this business? How will I be benefited from it? And in general, the givers are the ones like tend to be more compassionate, and so they are sometimes taken advantage of because they are patient, they are more empathetic, they are more compassionate, they prioritize sometimes other people. And so we need, in general, we need, as people, you need to learn how to be a matcher. So if you are a taker, well, slow down a little bit and give sometimes a little bit more to other people. And it's okay not to receive something right now in exchange for that situation, which is something that the giver does naturally. And for the givers, also be prepared or be open to receive things from other people in exchange of nothing, too. It's like the same behavior the other way. And I remember this I had a time many, many years ago where I met a person, and I was in a bad situation at the moment, economical situation at the moment, and she said to me, "Okay, I invite you for a coffee." And at the time, I was a full giver. So I really felt super sorry that I couldn't give her money in exchange for this invitation. And she said, "Forget about that, because there will be a time where you will be the one inviting other people, and maybe you will be other times receiving. This is like how life goes. This is like the way of flowing," she told me. And she told me also a story where she was in the same situation that I was at that time. She had almost no money, and she had to, in order, I think, to look for a shop, I think it was, she had to print. It was a long time ago. She had to print out her resume in order to give it to a company that was expecting this resume for her to be part of the company and be employed. So she went to a photocopy place, a shop where people used to photocopy or to print their resumes, and she had no money to pay to the guy. And the guy in that place, in that shop, said, "It's okay, just forget about it. There are only 2 or 3 pages. Go with that, and everything will be okay." And that's when she realized that it was okay to receive sometimes, when, especially when you most needed it. And so she told me that story, and I always stuck with that story in my mind because I thought it was really interesting. And but again, during some time, I also still was kind of in the most of the giver way of working or functioning, and so I used uh, um, that story that she had told me. When I helped other people, I say, "Okay, there will be a time that you will have to also help others because this and this and this." So it's like I continue her story, um, and that was really something really, really, really good. Uh, but again, you have to be as balanced as possible. And again, there will be times that you will be receiving, others will be giving you things, and always give or receive with joy. If you're not enjoying the situation as a giver or as a receiver, I don't think it is working, and it's something going on there. So maybe it's something to work on yourself. If you find, if I can give, or if I have to receive, I feel like kind of awkward. So I think that's something that a little light um, indicating uh, that you need to work on that thing. And this whole situation just sparked because I was being told that I needed to be more receptive to life and to things. And I guess I have been in many things. I also, when I have to not have, when I want to give something, I always um, do this exercise, as I said before, of thinking, do I really want to do this? Will I will I be complaining or feeling bad about the situation if in the end I feel like I have given too much and received nothing in return? Or I just do that, like that short checkup to see if I'm okay. I'm really, really okay with the situation. And if there is, all the checks are okay, are in green, then I say, okay, I will continue with this action. But otherwise, And also another question that I do ask myself, and it is mostly for givers, right? Another question I ask myself is, do I have to do anything for me first? Or should I be doing something for me first instead of doing this for another person? That's another thing too that I think of. So I don't regret things, because in the past I used to do, somebody asked me something and I would go running and do that thing, and then I said, why did I do that when I had to do this and this and this and this for me first, for example. So it was a regret. So if I detect that I'm not going to have any regrets at all, then, and I'm okay, and I want to do the thing that I'm going to, I just do it. But I would like to know what it feels from the taker side, because I don't have that much experience from that perspective. So maybe if one of you are more of a taker, or have realized that are more of a taker, I would really like to know how you do that. I do have experience, not from my perspective, but from maybe from a friend perspective, from yes, ex-partner perspectives and that kind of thing, because we tend to pair up, right? Givers and takers. But yeah, so I would say that right now I'm getting more into a balanced situation, so I think it is good to talk about that. And what Sharon, and I did have some traits, we could say, or some characteristics that matchers have, which is the sense of justice, because you realize, okay, I did this and this and this, I did it joyfully, but I can see no response at all from the other side, not even a thank you, for example. And of course, when you give things, you're not expecting to be thanked for. Oh, and just now I have reminded of a person that I've known to be a taker. He was a colleague of mine for some time, and we worked together a lot. Yes, I do remember now. And for example, he used to do favors for others, but then cash them in in return, because he said, I'm doing this for other people, so I expect them to do this and this and this for me. And I found, as being a giver at that time, it was also a long time ago, I found that horrifying. I found that he's completely crazy, and he was a total taker. If you are more balanced, you tend to realize, okay, maybe this person isn't really appreciating what I'm doing for them, so I might slow down with the giving and just try to level up the situation, which is, I think, a healthy thing to do. And so you get like a sense of justice or fairness or leveling, we could say. And in order to have a healthy relationship, so even though, again, we are not 100% matchers or balanced all the time, sometimes we give a little more, sometimes we take a little more. And when I realized that the relationships, whatever it is, with a friend, with a colleague, with a partner, you name it, it's not exactly leveled, I try to level it up a little more, because I think it's just fair for everyone. And also, in order for the, and I do the same with the other ones. I remember once I was working with a colleague, and he was doing a lot of work, and I felt I couldn't contribute to the very same level that he was given. So I say, hey, what can I do for you? How can we make this like a more level situation? Because I don't want you to be burned out in the end, and I will feel guilty that that I am not contributing, for example, and I don't want you to blame me for not contributing also. So when I'm realizing that this may be a tendency for us to be working at different levels, I address the situation so we don't have any problems in the future. Or at least we can mitigate those kind of problems and can um, organize somehow for us to be in a better level, right? So I think this is important because we need to, first of all, realize what kind of person we are. If you are a giver, a taker, and try to be more balanced. I know, yes, I know some people that are really balanced about this, but they have worked a lot on themselves in order to know what are their levels. If maybe they are more of a taker and they say, okay, I have to slow down a little bit and be more of a giver. Being a giver, when you need to be more of a receiver too. So yeah, I know some people that are balanced, not the majority. Actually, the list of the people, at least I know like one one person, two people maybe have this trait, which is good, nice. And actually, from whom I've been learning a lot, these white people that I call. But in general, we tend to be one or the other. And of course, it's not three options only. It's like more of a spectrum. So you could be a super giver and giving everything you have in order to please others, and you can be a total taker. But in general, we have like more in the middle, like things from what I gather from experience, right? And well, I think there's a lot to talk about this. I remember having seen it, I don't know if it was a TED talk or some kind of conference, and I'm not sure, I also forget about the names. I'm not sure it was Adam Grant, the one addressing these kind of things about being a giver, a taker, and that kind of thing. But as always, I think it's all a matter of balance, and the more balanced we are, the better for our relationships, and also understanding how we act is the most important thing, because if you know how you act, you can prevent things from happening with others, or you can be more open in order to, for example, in my case, receive more from people or from others, from situations, from whatever it is. So yes, I think this was it. It's more of an opinion and things I wanted to get out because I was reminded of this recently, and especially because I'm super grateful and glad that I did receive those flowers, which are so beautiful. And so it was really nice to receive that, and from a stranger. Um, and I have never seen that guy uh, after that or before in my life, so he was a total stranger. So I'm super grateful for that. And I realized, yes, I have been receiving, and I can mention so many experiences in the past years that I have received so many things from people, and mostly from strangers, in the form of a compliment, in the form of good comment, in a form of a good conversation, advice. sometimes. Well, a lot of things are coffee, coffee out, or well, many things. So I'm really, really grateful for that. And I'm also grateful for you being here. This is like also part of, I guess, receiving that you are here, you're commenting, you're sharing, you're telling me also how this could be better or your opinions or whatever it is. And also, thank you for the coffees that you are giving to the channel also. And I really, really appreciate that from you. And I guess I'm getting a little bit more balance. So I think that's nice. And well, that's all for now. Thank you a lot for being here and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Stay tuned for Ulua's next episode.